Hey guys, it's Penelope in London, and we're looking at the chart of today. And it was a full moon this morning, very early in California, and also early morning in New York. But it was 8 a.m. in New York, 8:17 a.m. in London. So we've gone past the full moon. So whatever you experience today, you would basically look to your own chart to see how that played out for you. On my chart, I'm Scorpio rising, which meant that the sun fell on my black moon Lilith and the moon was opposite. But I also had a nice quintile from my sun, which is a nice element to my Neptune. But I'm not showing my chart. I'm showing the collective right now. We've got the sun in Pisces at 9 degrees. We got the moon in Virgo. It was full today at 9 degrees, but 9 degrees. But we've got now, I'm just getting my pointers so we can so I can point you to it. So we've got the sun 9 degrees, and the moon actually must have been 9 as well. So then it's now 13 degrees of Virgo. We've got Mercury currently in Aquarius, and it was retrograde. We can see up here, and it went direct a few days ago. I think it went back to 11 degrees. And then we got Venus in Pisces. So if you look at Venus here, it's just entered Pisces in the last couple of days. It's at 2 degrees at the moment. We've got Mars in Taurus here, Mars 27 degrees. That's going to be moving into Gemini, upcoming. And then we've got Jupiter in Aquarius. You can see here, Jupiter Aquarius, and then Saturn also in Aquarius. And Uranus is in Taurus here at 7 degrees. Neptune is in Pisces. This is just hitting my IC. So this is really interesting for me because when we have that hit, my IC is my fourth house. So for me, this means that I'm going to be dissolving any early trauma that I've experienced and probably moving towards water, which will be quite beautiful for me. It's one of my plans in my life at some point. We've also got Pluto in Capricorn, and we can see here that Pluto will be in Capricorn. It will go retrograde in April for 5 months, just maybe over 5 months, and then it will continue forward into Aquarius as we move forward. I think it's got 2 retrogrades, and then it will be permanently in the sign of Aquarius for 20 years. So 2024 to 2044, and Pluto will be in Aquarius. So we're going through some heavy changes at the moment. You can see we've got some beautiful trines going on at the moment to the North Node, which is supporting us from Saturn, Mercury, and also Jupiter. So this is very supportive of us right now. We do have the squares to the South Node, which is the Sun and Neptune are squaring the South Node. And we've also got the square to the North Node with Neptune. So we're not quite sure where we're heading at this moment, but this is basically applying now because the nodes move this way around the chart and the rest of the planets move this way. So this node is applying to Neptune, and the South Node is separating from Neptune. And as this happens, our resolution is something from the past, and we're going to be figuring something out. And Neptune is beyond this realm. It's also what we don't see, the unknown. It's our sleep time. It's the ruler of Pisces. It's our melatonin. It's our dream state. And I was listening to something yesterday actually on Jung and James Hillman, and what is reality? If we think about it, we don't really know what we call reality. This is what he pointed out, which I thought was beautiful. James Hillman said, what we call reality is where we experience tension. So if we remove the tension, then the fantasy and our psyche, where our psychic energy creates pictures and voices. So what happens is that most of our life that we're experiencing is actually pictures in our head and voices in our head as well. So when we're sitting on our own, we're seeing and hearing our own voice, and not in a strange way, not that there's something wrong with us, but self-talk. And we create to a large degree, but at the same time, we're run by something that, that's much bigger than us, that we don't quite understand and we don't know. But we do have some control over, you know, our imagination. And he suggested that this is quite Neptunian, but what we can do in the work of Carl Gustav Jung, what we can do is actually, you know, if we're stuck on an emotion, like if you're stuck on, you feel angry or you feel sad or you've got some emotion that you can't figure out, you know, if you get some nice coloring pens or you know, pencils, and just draw it out and color it in and draw out what's going on in you. This is what the work of Jung and the psychotherapy, a brilliant way to do things. I think we covered that. I've got Chiron in Aries, and this is Eris, Eris, and that's 500 odd years around the chart. Black Moon Lilith, this is here that you're seeing is the true, actually this might be the mean, let me see, I'm just looking at this chart here. This is true Black Moon Lilith, and we've got here, because there's three different types of Lilith, 4, but I'm only using 3 in my own study. This is asteroid Lilith, who threw off, you know, the religious indoctrination. She refused to lay below Adam in the Garden of Eden. So, you know, it's quite interesting that these planets are all up here with asteroid Lilith, who's, you know, where she had enough and she didn't want to play ball anymore. She said, you know, she went off on her own. And then we've got Black Moon Lilith is our resolution to the other 2 Liliths, to mean. But I'll do more work on that because it's really to do with the shadow work of Carl Gustav Jung as well. We've got the North Node in Gemini here. So the North Node in Gemini, you know, it's where the South Node is in Sagittarius, and they're opposite each other, and they're basically abstract points. But the Gemini is where we, you know, it's where we're communicating with each other, and we can tend to be flighty and engaging in many varied experiences to gain knowledge. So we're gaining a lot of knowledge through this time, local knowledge, and, you know, we're sort of moved away. We've not been able to travel with that node. You know, it stopped us traveling, the South Node going through Sagittarius. We've had to go inward and also deal with people locally, which is quite interesting. All over the world, you know, travel was halted, as we know, a year ago when we had lockdowns, and that's continued to be the case. There's been very few people getting on aeroplanes. So it's where also in Gemini we tend towards liberty in relationships, and it's where we've got a highly developed nervous system that can be easily bored. So I find that myself, I'm always doing something. I'm a Gemini sun, Gemini moon, you know, but when we get this under control, we've got tremendous intellectual and artistic possibilities with this. This is also to do with marketing, and also, you know, all forms of communication, and also to do with siblings, and, as I said, short journeys. So it's halfway through. We can take this chart forward. I'm going to emanate it actually, and I'm just going to reshare screen to make sure I've got this new share here. This is the emanated page, and what we've got, if we take this a few days ahead, so you can see that moon move, that's 13 degrees at the moment of Virgo. So we go 1 day, 2, and then it's in the sign of Libra. So we've got 2.5 days the moon moves through a sign, and that affects humanity, all of us, 28 days around the chart. And as we go, you know, the planets, you know, up here, we've got the outer planets are slower moving, which we know. This one here, actually, this little star you see here is called Hamal. And this is to do with warrior type energy, but also quite a lot of aggression. It's quite interesting that it's on top of Uranus, which is breaking free of limitations and long-term memory. So Mars, let's look at when that will be moving into the sign of Gemini, because that's a big shift for us. So there you go. Let's take that exact and go back hours. And remember, this is a UK chart here. So we're going back hours now to see when it hits. So there you go, that's 0 degrees. This will be on the 4th of March. So literally in a few days, we're going to have Mars moving into the sign of Gemini. And I'll make another video on that. That should be interesting. If you would like to subscribe for me, that would be great. I'm building my channel and making lots of videos. And any comments below, that would be wonderful too. And if you want to tell me where that moon fell for you, it's done me a bit of good. It's, you know, helped me mature on certain matters in my own life. It's quite interesting. The moon, you know, hits every planet as well. As the moon moves around the chart, it's hitting all aspects and all planets. So, you know, our emotions and our egocentric selves, there's nothing wrong with the ego as well. And when we look at that, it's not a thing. It's to do with our emotional states and our feelings. So we do need an ego in order to survive. That's for sure. Okay, catch you later. Thanks for watching.